Well, hello everybody. It's Monday, the 21st of January, 2019. I'm Dakian, and I'm here to ramble. And the first thing I want to ramble about is the blue dragons that I finished, from the very small to the very large. Perhaps we can start with the very small. We have the sort of wormling or hatchling dragon here, who's just a little cute baby dragon. And we have the somewhat bigger dragon, which is based on the, what it was called, oh, the wings are very shiny in this light. It's usually not this much light in the room though, so I don't think it's going to look that way all the time. This, as I've mentioned, is really old bones, very bendy, but it seems to be standing up so far, not falling over, and that's a good thing. And then finally we have Stormwing, the really big, the big blue. Yeah, oops. It's hard to hold them and have a good distance at the same time. I'm even not sure if this is in focus. Well, we'll have to settle for the still pics at the end. Now, there are some issues, like for example, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a mold line. This ridge here, that's a mold line. If this was a metal or resin model, I would have cleaned that off, but this being bones, I'm just going to leave it and hope that nobody looks too closely at the tail. But, you know, they're not super fancy or anything, but I'm happy with how they turned out. They're going to be useful. They're good gaming pieces. So, let's move on for a bit. I've even impressed myself by finishing a further 5 minis. All of these ogres are done. They're not perhaps well painted. I mean, they're kind of a little bit speed painted, a little rough around the edges, but passable as ogres. I tried to go with a sort of sallow, pasty skin color. This is accomplished by painting a very pale skin, shading it with a skin shade, but also using a bit of what's the name? Athonian camo shade. That old standby. One of my favorite shades in the Citadel line, actually. Here's the little eye patch guy. When I was looking at it on the painting table, I wondered whether I had managed to differentiate the skin color enough from the leathers and the furs. On camera, it looks pretty different. Again, this could be because I have very strong lighting on it right now. But no, I could have put some more matte varnish down there, but oh well. A little shine. Maybe his skin is greasy. Doesn't matter so much. And here's the matriarch. Who's the only one who wears shoes. Nobody wears pants in the ogre household, but the matriarch wears the shoes. And she has a little goblin slave on a leash. The detail on him is not good at all, so I have not emphasized him, but he's there. And finally, we have the leader in mostly bronze armor with some iron. The smaller plates I painted iron, but the big bits a sort of dark bronze color. And the shield is painted in some colors, but it's kind of faded. The shield on his back there, he's using as a back plate. And the shield, he's using a door as his own shield. So yeah, I think they turned out okay. So let's take a look at the wyverns. They're just, let's see, I assembled them I think last time and based them. I hadn't primed them. They're primed black. Don't know if you can tell because there's only a single base coat on the body and one on the base here. Printed black, and I had some. I had to go to my rattle can, my Armor Painter matte black primer, to get to cover on a big metal models like these with a lot of texture and spiky surfaces. The airbrush primer didn't seem quite hard enough, stable enough for my liking. So I went back to the rattle can. And on top of that, as I mentioned, I've just put some dark brown on the base and some hull red all over the bodies and wings as a preliminary undercoat, you might say. This is because when I've researched wyverns, now the source, the first edition, the only textual description I know of is from the first edition 18D Monster Manual, which says they're either brown or gray, which sounds boring. Now, all the color illustrations from 3rd edition and onwards have them in a sort of mostly kind of red. In the Monster Manuals, they're all this really dark red-brown color. Essentially this color here. But, you know, I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to highlight it up. And it's going to be relatively easy, I think. It's all dry brushing and glazing and relatively fast stuff, except for picking out little details, you know, like teeth and eyes and that. But, you know, that doesn't take that much time. So look forward to these being finished next week, I think. Standing around here, we have the latest batch of stuff that's been cleaned, assembled, and primed. This is all, well, almost all Reaper bones. This one is a metal Reaper figure from the Dungeon Dwellers line. The rest are bones. So we got 4 lions in front, there's 3 humans of various kinds, and then there's 5 mummies. Well, one is kind of a lich, but it's super mummy. Yeah. These, well, you know, the mummies and the lions I don't think will take a lot of time. They can be speed painted rapidly because they're mostly just like one color. The mummy wrappings or the lion fur, what have you. Well, as I've said, these are not going to be actual living lions, they're going to be ghost lions, so they're all going to be one color. It's sort of a spectral blue or green. Let's see what I decide. Yeah. Probably a lot of these will be done by next week. And the ones that are not done will be halfway done, at least. That's my prediction. Let's see how it goes. As for more models that I want to start painting, I was looking through my boxes and boxes of stuff, and I came across a couple of bones figures that I apparently bought recently and I haven't gotten around to. So I think it's time. We have the frog demon. I think it's called a toad demon in the catalog these days, which is a multi-part piece. It's kind of difficult to tell from this is just his body. All the limbs are separate and the base, so we can't really see how it's going to look at the final verdict. And then we have the Fire Giant Jailer. This was the only Fire Giant produced in the Bones 3 Kickstarter lineup. But I thought I'd paint him before Bones 4 arrives, because Bones 4 has more of every sort of, well, not every sort of giant, but it has, I believe, Hill, Stone, Frost, and Fire Giants. The Cloud and Storm Giants don't get much love. And well, anyway, the day is fast approaching when the Bones 4 is going to be delivered, so I thought I'd get this guy out of the way first. So, yeah. I like these big guys. And sort of breaking my promise not to buy so many new minis, I have here this month's order from Reaper, the UK warehouse. I simply couldn't resist because they're running this promotion where you get a free mini with every order of a certain amount, and it changes every month. They've been doing this for the past couple of years. In 2017, they had the 25th anniversary minis. Last year, they had the rollout of the Dungeon Dwellers line, and this year they're doing a promotion of the new Bones material, Bones Black. And so, considering it's within the EU still, let's hope Brexit doesn't fuck that up. It's simply irresistible because all I have to do is place an order for 40 euros worth of minis, and I get a free mini and free shipping. So yeah, that's what I did, and I'm probably going to do that every month this year. Oh well. So let's see what's in this order. I'll unpack it and let's. The first one is this month's promotion, the Owlbear, the new Owlbear. As you can see, Bones Black isn't black; it's just dark gray. I got some bases. I got a really old Bones model that I didn't have before, the Mountain Troll. I got a relatively new metal model, the Giant Weasel, which is a classic D&D monster, but they haven't had a model for it before. And I got another dragon. I got... where's his name? There it is. Ebonwrath. So he's supposed to be a big black dragon. And you can tell he's sort of a medium gray in between the troll and the owlbear in color, because he's from the sort of Bones 3 era. You know what? I think I feel inspired to do a little impromptu unboxing. I'll cut here and come back. And so we have the evolution of Bones here. This, I think, is one of the older Bones models. It's reasonably solid and stable because of the way it's sculpted. There's few thin parts to it, and they haven't made any of the load-bearing parts thin, especially. That's the main issue with old Bones is when when the legs are too thin to carry the weight of all the plastic. Like big skeleton things, big spiders, big I had a big swamp troll, where the legs just wouldn't hold it. But in this case, it's just the axe here, and then he's straightening. But you can tell, now this base is pretty straight, but it is very bendable and pliable. And even if you take the arm here, you can actually, there's a lot of give to this. This is what, perhaps not the very first batch of Bones, but like Bones 2 per generation, perhaps. I seem to recall it being from that. Now Ebonwrath here, this dragon is a later generation, and it has a little bit of bendiness in the things like the tail and the legs, but slightly less. It feels a little bit more solid than the troll did. And not just because, of course, this body is so thick that it's completely solid. This won't bend at all, but yeah. It's still okay. And finally we have the owlbear here, which has no give at all. It's completely solid. Now, I can't really tell. I need more magnification to see if there's any mold lines. You know, to the naked eye, I can't really see any. The camera might pick up stuff I don't see. There's some flashing here. But on a heavily textured surface like this, with fur and feathers, mold lines will either be invisible or impossible to get out. And, of course, one of the ways they have avoided flex is this wing is pretty thick. Presumably they've managed to get it this way by sculpting directly for Bones instead of you know, converting metal minis, which was many of the original bones. And you can actually hit it and it sounds different. This has a sort of dull sound when you tap it with a nail. This, I don't know if you can tell the difference, but to my ears it's much sharper. Yeah, and this is really nice. They have an integral bass, which is a real bass. It's not just an irregular piece of whatever. It's a regularly sized bass with some scenic elements, and I've tried fitting the feet into it. You have to use a bit of violence to, you have to actually bend them apart a little bit to get both feet in at the same time, but you can do it. Not sure I want to paint it this. Oh, there's some flashing. Kind of hard to get at it to paint if you assemble it beforehand. This might have to be a multi-stage paint job where I sort of paint it underneath and behind here first, and the base, and then attach it and then paint the rest of it. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. This looks, and it's a single piece model. It's actually a multi-piece model. The head, you can tell, was separate, but it's been assembled before delivery. They've glued on the head. That, they didn't need to do that. I mean, anybody can glue on a head. Maybe it's for protection. Maybe it doesn't rattle around in the blister pack so much. Who knows? Anyway, I'm actually going to Ebonwrath, the Black Dragon, I'm putting aside for the moment, but I will be adding these two, the Troll and the Owlbear, and the Giant Weasel, to the painting queue. A lot of big monsters on the way right now, then. We'll see when I get around to them, but I do feel like I want to very soon check out how the cleanup and priming and painting of this new Bones Black material actually is. Yeah. Anyway, that was the video. Lots of information. Hope you enjoyed it. Click like if you do. Subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. I'll be back, same time, same channel, next week. Till then, I'm Duckion, and I'm signing off.